Hi, Tubas. It's Mr. Y. Your finals for this year in 7th grade band are in the EE book, number 189, breath control exercise, number 191, flexibility study number 2, 194, articulation etude number 2, and 199, chromatic challenge. The hardest one for me on this is, believe it or not, 191, which doesn't look to be the hardest, but I think for me at least it is. But I'm going to go through all these and show you kind of what's going on with them. 189, really just about taking enough breath. It's just a chromatic scale in a couple of different registers. First of all, you have kind of a medium register starting on the F, then a low register starting on the B flat going down, then the F one again. The first and third phrases are exactly the same, by the way. And then the last phrase is in the high register starting on high B flat. Should be more than enough breath to get through 4 notes. There are 4 notes slurred and then usually 3 more. If you want to take the whole 7 notes on one breath, that'd be totally fine too. But don't speed up. The whole point of this is to go slow. So, excuse me. Okay, 189, breath control exercise. Nice smooth transition between notes, nice big sound, that's what you want here. Then the lower one, starting in low B flat. And the higher one again. Then from the high B flat. Again, if you want to play all 7 of those, especially the last one, you probably can do it all in one breath. But always make sure you get a nice big full sound. Don't run out of gas toward the end. If you do need more air, take more air, but do it in the right place where there's no slur. Okay, flexibility study number 2. This one is all about your lip slurs, and in fact you'll see that it goes 1 valve combination for the whole 2-measure phrase here, and it's all 1 big slur and 2-measure phrase too. So that means there are some weird fingerings. For instance, let's see, in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th measure, you have, sorry, the 5th phrase, you have the G flat 2 and 3, okay, down to the D flat 2 and 3, and it stays G flat and D flat. Then in the next measure, you do have a high B flat, which you're also going to play 2 and 3. Of course, yeah, that's usually not any valves, but 2 and 3 is an alternate position, alternate fingering for it. And since you're doing the lip slur thing here, that's what you're going to do. Same thing on the last phrase, where you have F, C, F, C, F, C, F, A, F. Okay, you're going to play all those on first and third valve. The F, of course, is usually no valves, and the high A is usually second valve, but you can play all these on first and third too. And the whole point here is to do the work with your lips, not with your fingers. So you do have to use the right fingers here. I should say you do have to use the fingers they show you here. Okay, so 191. I'm going to do that again and see if I can get a better sound. Try that again. You can hear some of those are pretty hard for me. I have trouble doing some of those higher notes, especially on the tuba. So I would have probably given myself about a 16 or 17 there. I think you probably can do a better job, guys. 194, we have some slurs and some staccatos. The last note in this one, too, always gives me the willies. That low F, the first and third valve, almost the lowest note in the tuba. Playing it by itself like that is one thing. Playing it in the context of a song is sometimes a little trickier, which you're probably going to see in just a sec. Articulation etude number 2.
Marzouk, please come to the front office. Adam Marzouk, please come to the front office.
Okay, so again, 194. Wow, I got that last one that time. Make sure you keep them nice and clear. There are some accents in this one. In the first line, it's on the last note of the phrase, da 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 ta, that kind of thing. In the second line, it's the first note in those first two phrases. Ba ba ba. Sorry, da dee da 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 dee da 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 bum. And the articulation's different in those two too. Be careful. And of course, the last measure. Sometimes it's hard to get that low F. I would take a little pause between the last C and the last F and take a humongous breath. You've really got to get a lot of air into that F. Okay, again. Okay, 199, chromatic challenge. Nothing too serious here, as long as you know the notes. You've got some F sharps, 2 and 3, of course. You've got some G sharps. That's 1, same as A flat. You might have heard it. You might be more familiar with it as A flat. In the second line, you've got some B naturals. That's 1 and 2, and some A naturals, 2, and some A flats, 1. Another F sharp there toward the end, 2 and 3. Okay. Also, be careful about this one because you've got E natural in the key signature. So the E's, unless they're marked flat, are not flat. They're middle valve, E natural, not first valve, E flat. Okay. So 199. And those last 5 should really be accented. Pretty easy one, really. Okay, good luck with it. Any questions, ask me in class or drop me an email. I'll be glad to set you up. Thanks.